Okay, so we have our HTML complete. Okay, looks horrible, but is clean. Basically just an unordered list with some sub unordered lists. All right, so let's go ahead and go to the style.css file, and we'll start with the body. Okay, I'm going to set the font family to, Arial. We'll say Arial, Helvetica, Sans. Okay, I'm going to set the background to a really light gray, and that's it. That's all we need for the body. Okay, so for the menu and the menu UL, I'm going to zero out the margin and padding, and also I don't want any bullets, so we're going to say list style, set that to none. Okay. Okay, so now everything is zeroed out, okay, even the sub items, and that's what we want. Okay, so let's start with the menu itself. We'll set it to a width of 90%. Set the margin, okay, we'll do 60 on the top and bottom, and we want it auto-centered. Border, we're going to give it a border of 1 pixels, solid, and then the color is going to be 107677, which is basically that dark green. And let's see, background color. Okay, background is going to be 111, and that's for basically for older browsers. I want to have a gradient for browsers that can render gradient. So background, it's going to be linear. So linear gradient, and the colors I want is going to be 1 EBDBE, and then I want this color green. Okay, I'm going to set a border radius of 6 pixels, and we'll set a box shadow. Okay, box shadow is going to be 0, 2 pixels, 2 pixels, and it's going to be I guess a medium shade of gray. Alright, so let's see what's going on with it. Alright, so our border gradient looks good. Obviously we haven't done the list items yet, but you can see the background looks pretty good. Now what I want to do here is we need to have some way to clear our floated list items, okay? And I'm going to use the Nicholas Gallagher micro clear fix. Alright, so I can show you that real quick. I'm not sure how to spell his name. Gallagher. CSS, there we go. Let's see. Is this it? No. Let me try micro clear fix. Here we go. Okay, so the clear fix hack is a popular way to attain floats without resorting to using presentational markup. This article presents an update to the clear fix, blah blah blah. Okay, so basically this is it right here. Alright, so we're going to say some div before, after, set the content to nothing. We don't need this display table. We can actually use display block. And then here we'll say clear both. And I'm not even going to use this here. I don't care about Internet Explorer 6 and 7. You might, I don't. Alright, so we want to do this. Obviously we don't have the CF class. We're going to use the menu. Okay, the ID menu. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's say menu, and if you want to read more about it, just browse that page. We'll say menu before, and also menu after. Okay, we'll just say content display block. Alright, and then we just want to do menu after and clear. Okay, so that should do it. Next, we want to do the menu list items. So menu li, and we want to float these to the left, and we're going to use a background. Now this is where we're going to use the separator image. Okay, so each list item will have a background, which will be that separator. So we want to go to the, we want to say URL, and we want to go out and then into the images directory, and then scp.png. Okay, we don't want that to repeat. And we also want to position this relative. Okay, let's see what that looks like. Alright, so everything is floated to the right. Obviously, it still looks all messed up. We haven't dealt with sub items. So let's do the links now. So menu A, we want these also to float to the left, and we're going to set some padding. We'll say 12 pixels top and bottom, 30 pixels left and right. The color is going to be white. We don't want any underlines, so text decoration will take care of that. Say none. Let's see, we also want it, I want the menu items to be all uppercase, so I'm going to do text transform and set that to uppercase. And I guess I should set the font values as well. So font, let's see, I want them bold. Yeah, 12 pixels is good. Arial Helvetica. Okay, so that's for the links. Alright. Now let's do the unordered list itself. We have quite a few things to do here. Set a margin 20 pixels on the top, and opaque, I'm going to set that to 0. Okay, so basically we don't want to show it. And this here, this menu UL, is going to be all the ULs that are inside of the main UL, because you can see we have UL with the ID of menu. So this selector here is not getting this. It's getting the UL that is inside of this. Alright, and we want to set that to 0. We don't want to see them until we hover over them. So that's why we're going to set that to 0. We also want to set visibility to hidden. Alright, and we want it positioned absolute, and from the top we'll do 38 pixels, and then left will be 0. And let's see, let's give it a Z index of 1. And for the background, for our sub ULs, I want it to be the same gradient that we have for our main background. So I'm going to copy this, paste that in, and then we'll have a box shadow, and that's going to be 0, -1 pixels, 0, and then we're going to do an RGBA value, which will be 255, 255, 255, and 0.3. And then under that, let's give it a border radius of 3 pixels, and then we want our transition, okay, which is going to be for all and 0.2 seconds, and we'll use ease in out. Okay, and that should be good for our sub ULs. So I just want to look at it real quick. Okay, so you can see that it's now hidden all of our sub ULs, and we're not getting any drop downs yet, but we'll look into that in a minute. So next we want menu li hover, and then the first UL. And then we'll say opaque will be 1. We want to set visibility to visible, and a margin of 0. Okay, I just want to check this out. Okay, we should be getting our drop down. I'm not exactly sure why we're not, so I'm going to just look through this real quick. Visible, I spelled visible wrong. Visible, this has an extra I. Hopefully that's why. Alright, good. So now you can see that our submenus are transitioning in. Alright, but if we go to a one that has multiple sub items, you can see it opens on the side. Okay, it comes in from the bottom. We want it from the side, excuse me. Alright, so let's keep on going. So let's grab those sub items and make them open on the side. So we'll say menu UL. Okay, so we want to go 2 unordered lists down. We'll say top 0, left 150 pixels, and margin will be 0, 0, 0, and then 20 pixels, and we'll also give it a box shadow. Let me just copy this one here. Okay, let's check it out. Okay, now it's coming from the side, which is what we want. Okay, now I want to grab all the links that are in the sub items. Okay, so basically all the links except for these. Okay, so we can grab those by using menu UL A. Okay, and I just want to add some padding and give them a width of 130 pixels and display as a block. And let's do a white space, no wrap. Okay, we don't want white space to affect it. And then float, we want to make sure is none. And text transform, I'm also going to set to none. Okay, so this should fix this spacing there. Okay, so that looks much better. But you'll notice when we hover over, nothing happens. There's no style change to the link. I want kind of a background change when we hover. So let's do that. Menu UL A hover. Okay, and we want to use a gradient. Let me just grab this. Okay, let's see what that does. Alright, so now we have a overlay when we hover. So the next thing I want to do is create that arrow effect. Alright, because right now it's just flat. If you look at the final one, you can see it has this little triangle. It has it on the side too for the sub items. Okay, so we're going to do that, and we can do that using the before and after pseudo elements, much like we did back in the slider project. Okay, so we want menu UL LI, and we want to grab the first child. Okay, the first child element, and we want the link, but we want to go after. Okay, so content is going to be empty quotes. We want a position absolute, and from the left we want 40 pixels and top -6 pixels. Okay, border left is going to be 6 pixels, solid and transparent. And we want to do the same thing for the right and bottom. Okay, and actually this last one shouldn't be transparent. We actually want that to be this color here. Okay, so we'll save that. And now you can see we have our arrow. The side ones don't, however, so we need to do that now. So I'm going to copy this. It's going to be kind of similar. Instead of menu ULLI, we want ULLI. That brings us one level down. And we can get rid of the position in this content. Left, I'm going to kind of reverse this, so left will be -6 pixels, and then top is going to be 50%. Okay, and then we're going to put in a margin top, and that's going to be set to -6 pixels, and border left is going to be 0. And then we want this color here to actually be the other shade of green. Alright, so let's give that a shot. Okay. Okay, so it looks like it's facing the wrong way. Let's see, border. Oh, we need to change. This should be at border right, this here. So put this back to transparent, and then like that. Okay, that still doesn't look right. Let's see, border left. Oh, I'm sorry, this should be border top. Instead of left, this needs to be top. I'm just getting a little confused with the direction here of the arrow. Alright, there we go. So that looks good. I think that's about it really for as far as not non-responsive design. Yeah, looks good. So if we try and make the browser smaller, you can see that this really isn't what we want. We want to be able to have that, have all of these hide, and then have that button that we click, and then all of our links will show in a drop down. Alright, so in the next video we will create the CSS that will make this menu responsive.